All right, so the purpose of this video is I want to explain how to properly do cold outreach on LinkedIn. I've spoken to a lot of people, and a lot of people do cold outreach, but they're not getting good results. And I know exactly the reason why. I've spoken to a lot of people, and a lot of people are doing very similar issues and very similar things that are not going to get you good results. So the purpose of this video is to explain exactly how you can do cold outreach on LinkedIn to get yourself anywhere from 40 to 60 sales calls per week booked into your calendar. Obviously, if you're not struggling with leads right now, you're not struggling with getting sales calls, then this video is not for you. But if you're someone that does want more leads, does want more sales calls, LinkedIn outreach is definitely one of the best strategies that you could do right now. And I'm going to explain exactly why and why you should be doing it. If you're not already doing it, you're definitely missing out, and it's one of the best strategies that you can do right now. So let's get right into it. So when I speak with someone, one of the first questions that I ask them is, have you tried doing cold LinkedIn outbound before? A lot of people will say yes. The thing I noticed is with cold LinkedIn outbound, it's a very common known thing. A lot of people know what it is. They've heard about it. They've either done it, maybe they haven't done it. At least they know what it is. And a lot of people, the main reason why, there's three main reasons, but we're going to start with the first one. The main reason why they're not getting good results is because they send messages manually one by one. This doesn't make any sense to me. People are sitting there manually on the computer and sending messages one by one. So they're sitting there typing out the whole message, clicking on the profile, opening up the message box, typing out the message. It takes maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Once it's done, they proofread it, hit send, go to the next, click on the profile, click on the message box, click connect, type out their message. In 20 minutes, they send 2 messages. That's the problem right there. You're way too slow, not enough volume. So a lot of people are doing that. They'll sit there and they'll send one message at a time, one by one, manually. They'll type out the message. And in 2 hours, they sent 10 messages. Like, ridiculous. And this is not only a massive waste of your time, but you're also not going to get really any results from that. So how do you solve this problem? Well, it's quite simple. You need to automate it. You need to automate your messaging sequence. You cannot be sending messages manually. Number one, sending messages manually is very time consuming. You're one person. There's only so much you could do. If you sat down for 8 hours and did that one by one, you might send 100, maybe 200 messages. Maybe. And that's pushing it. I don't even think you could do that. Even if you could do that and you had the time to do that, you just wasted 8 hours of your time. Is that worth it? Absolutely not. You could be doing so many other things with your business. You could be doing so many other things with your day that could potentially help you either scale, get more clients, or whatever. Not a good use of your time at all. And on top of that, even if you did do that, there's only so much you can do. Having something that's automated is going to allow you to step away from the screen, allow you to focus on something else, and it's going to send 10 times as many messages in the same amount of time. What makes more sense to you? Exactly. Sending messages automatically is the way to go. Why? Because you're going to send way more volume, and the volume is the first problem that people have. They're not sending enough volume, so automating it is going to fix that problem. Second thing, people have a horrible, I won't say horrible, but their message isn't good. A lot of people will message someone on LinkedIn and they'll try to sell them right away. They'll try to pitch them something. They'll try to offer them something. They'll just try to sell them immediately without getting to know them, without saying, hey, how are you? How's your week? How was business today? What did you do on the weekend? Hey, how are you? I noticed that we're connected mutually through these people. How do you know them? They don't even do that. They don't do that at all. They go straight into the pitch. Of course, this is not going to work. Of course, this is going to end in negative results. Nobody likes to be sold anything. Nobody wants to talk to a salesman. People come across way too salesy. Way too salesy. You need to be nonchalant. You need to be relaxed. You need to be chill. You need to be, very strategic with what you're doing. You can't be so straight to the point like that and like, hey, I got an offer. Do you want it? Of course, it's not going to work. You have to be very nonchalant. You got to be laid back and you need to know your market. You need to know your audience. And that's another thing I'm going to get to later. But the message is so important. Like my messages on LinkedIn are usually 2, maybe 3 sentences max. They're short, they're concise, they're to the point, and they're simple, easy to read. Another thing too, I notice that people sometimes send these massive paragraphs. Who is going to read that? Please tell me. When I get a massive paragraph, I read the first sentence and then I get rid of it because it's too time consuming to read it. Like I have so many other things that I need to do. You really think I'm going to open up? I've never heard of you before. I don't know who you are, never seen you. And you expect me to take 5 minutes or 10 minutes out of my day to read the essay that you wrote for me. I appreciate you doing that and taking your time, but I don't know who you are. I don't know the context, and I'm just not gonna do that. Like, and that's every other person. No one is gonna sit there and read your massive paragraph. It's not gonna happen. Like, people don't want to do that. It's too time consuming. It's just not. People have a very bad attention span as well, so they're gonna tune out after the first sentence, anyways. So yeah, sending a long message is not gonna work. You need to make sure the message is short, concise, and to the point, and it gets the message across. So, like I was saying earlier, right? You never want to sell them right away. You want to make sure that you're very nonchalant. You either say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like my message, for example, very simple. "Hey, have you ever tried doing cold LinkedIn outbound before?" Question mark. That's one of my messages that I use. Gets a very high response rate. Simple. It's so simple. It's a one-liner. It's a question. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. Not trying to pitch you anything. Not offering anything. Literally just asking a question. I get a very high response rate with that one. People respond either yes or no. Obviously, if they say no, then I can introduce them to how LinkedIn Outbound works and why it's beneficial to them. And if they say yes, then I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing, awesome. What kind of software are you using? Are you using more than one LinkedIn account? Are you using just one LinkedIn account? Are you sending emails and connections? And we'll get into a nice conversation, and the conversation will take off, and then whichever way it goes is whichever way it goes, right? So there's never a right or wrong way to proceed with the conversation once the conversation takes off. The important thing is to get those conversations going, because those conversations are going to lead with appointments getting booked. That's what you want. You want appointments getting booked, right? So getting people to respond to your messages is the first step. And it's the first step to actually acquiring a successful, high quality lead. So having a very short, concise message that's very nonchalant is the way to do it. You don't want to try and sell them right away, and you don't want to have a long message. Keep the message short. Don't sell them. Just either ask them a question, or even better, just say, "Hey, how's your week?" or "Hey, how's your week going so far?" Something like that. Get people to respond to you. That's the first thing. Then have your conversation, and you can take that conversation however you want. Obviously, be organic, be natural, right? And then if it leads to a sales call, which is your goal, amazing. Done deal. Third thing that people have an issue with: people don't target the right audience. People are not targeting the right market. When you're not targeting the right market, of course, you're going to get a low response rate. If you're selling paid advertising, you're not going to reach out to a hospital. If you're doing paid advertising, you're not going to reach out to a school or a college or a professor. You're not going to reach out to a 19-year-old kid who's in high school. You're not going to be doing that. You need to have the right market. You need to know how to filter out the right market. So a lot of people know what their niche is, but then when it comes to messaging, they're not messaging their niche. They're sending it to a completely wrong market. So how do I find the right market? I use Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator has a lot of filters. Sales Navigator allows you to really filter down who you want to talk to and who you want to get in front of, which is amazing because the more specific you are, the better results you're going to get. So you can be super specific with the filters that you choose on Sales Navigator, and it will show you exactly what you're looking for. And what you do is you scrape those leads with our software, and then you upload that into the campaign. You create your workflow with your messaging sequence, and then you launch your campaign, and then there you go. Leads will start coming in. Having the right market is so important. You want to make sure that you reach out to people that are going to have the highest chance of converting and the highest chance of responding. So that's very important. So if you put all three things together, you are going to see very good results. And I guarantee if you have done cold outreach on LinkedIn, you have not implemented these 3 techniques. If you implement these 3 techniques, you're going to notice a dramatic change in your results. You're going to notice results within 24 hours. I guarantee it on my mother's grave. If you implement these 3 techniques right now, within 24 hours, you're going to start getting lots of leads and potentially even sales calls within 24 hours of you doing this. Guaranteed. Automate your messaging so you can do a lot of volume, get a good message, and message the right market. If you do these 3 things, you will be very successful with cold outreach on LinkedIn. I promise you. It's very, very simple. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want to actually show you the results that we're currently getting with our cold LinkedIn outbound system. So right here, as you can see, this right here is my inbox. Currently, I have over 99 people that I have to respond to in my inbox. And this is a result of the campaign that we launched just this past week. So look how many people we have. Look how many messages need to be responded to. So this right here shows you that this does work. We're getting a ton of responses. We're getting a ton of interest. We're getting a lot of people that are responding to us with interest in regards to working with us. These people either want to book a sales call or they actually want to have more information sent to them in regards to how this works. And of course, we have, so here's what I recommend actually. If you are getting these many messages, obviously this is a lot. I'm getting like 2, sometimes 300 daily. You're not going to be able to manage this yourself. This is way too much work. This is insane. If you try to do this yourself, you're going to spend like 10 hours a day doing this. So what I recommend you do is if you have this many messages that you're getting daily, what I recommend is you hire an appointment setter. An appointment setter is going to automate, or not automate, but they're going to take this workload off of you. They're going to manage your inbox for you, and they're going to respond to all these people for you and then book them into your calendar so you can close them. On Fiverr, on Upwork, you can find people that can do this for you at as low as $3 an hour. $3 an hour, they will manage your inbox for you, and they'll actually respond to these people. You just have to let them know what you want them to say, and they'll say it, and then they'll book them into your calendar for you. Now, personally, with my business, I get at least 40 sales calls a week, and sometimes I get upwards of like 60, 70, 80. It depends on the week, and it depends on the results of the campaign, obviously. I am not doing all those sales calls. I do a maximum of like 2, 3 sales calls daily. The rest of my sales calls, I have my closers take care of. So I have closers that take care of the sales calls, and then I have appointment setters that manage my inbox and book my sales calls. And then I focus on making content, and I focus on running campaigns, doing delivery for my clients, making sure everyone's happy. So yeah, so that's how that works. And I recommend that you highly do that, because if you're getting these many messages, you're going to spend more time responding to people than you are actually doing sales calls. So not a good time investment, if you ask me. So when you go to campaigns, you can actually manage and actually track the results of the campaigns and currently what they're doing. As you can see here, we have 213 campaigns that are actively running. Some of these are ours, but most of them are our clients. So there's really 2 ways you can do this. A lot of our clients will either have us manage it for them, and as a result, we're going to charge a lot more for that because it's a lot of work to manage your inbox, book your sales calls, and do all that jazz. So we will charge a lot more for that. But most people, what they do is they just manage this themselves, and we can track their campaigns directly from our end. So as you can see, every single person has their own campaigns. The ones that say 0 are campaigns that either haven't started yet or campaigns that are currently getting built. And obviously, each and every person has their own campaign. If you click on one, for example, you'll be able to see the results that campaign has generated. So this one campaign has 3 LinkedIn accounts. So this is a small one, and you can see the results that this campaign has generated right here. And this was started on July 21st, 2024. So since then, this campaign has generated a total of 1,867 leads since then, which is pretty good considering that's not even 2 months. Very good. So This is where you manage and can track your campaigns. Most people manage it themselves, and obviously we teach you how to manage this so that way it's very simple to use and you're very familiar with what you're doing, but it's quite simple. It's not complicated at all once you get the hang of it. It might seem complicated at first, but I promise you it's not. So then right here is the lead section. So right here, you can actually look at the leads that were generated for the campaign that you're looking at. So for example, let's look at this one right here. So this one right here, our client's name is Justin. And as you can see, this guy has generated a lot of leads himself. And this is where they will all show up. So for example, if you have a CRM, most people have a CRM. This is a very unique tool. What you can do is our software will not only show you all the leads that were collected, it will also provide you with some basic information, their location, their company name, the job title, the industry that they're in, and their LinkedIn URL, and also their email address as well. So if you want, you can also launch an email marketing campaign for them. You can launch an SMS marketing campaign for them, and you can export all of these leads to your CRM if you have one, like HubSpot or GHL. Very unique tool. So a lot of people will use that so they can upload the leads that are being generated into their CRM. And this helps a lot because a lot of people do cold calls, they do email marketing, they do SMS marketing, and then they will do that with the new leads that they generated. So yeah, that's where you manage your leads. And you can actually see all the leads that have come through, which is very nice. And then up here is where you can actually manage the LinkedIn accounts that you own. So I own 128 for myself. Currently, I'm using 100, and the other 28 I'm going to use for something different. But the 100 that I have for my essential agency business are currently here, and I can click on whichever one I want. It will tell me the results of that LinkedIn account. And I can also open the LinkedIn account directly through the software, and I can actually adjust and personalize the profile. So for example, I can go on the profile and I can change the background picture. I can change the headline. I can change the about section. I can change the experience section, the about section, the education section. I can add post, whatever I want to do to personalize it, I can do that. So this is where you would do that if you want to do that. And then lastly, right here, this is just a dashboard. This will basically let you know what are the current results of your campaign. So for my personal campaign, these are the results of my personal connection campaign. So I have a connection campaign running right now, and I also have an email campaign. This right here is not showing you the email campaign. It's just showing you the connection campaign. So since September 5th, so 6 days ago, in 6 days, we have sent 6,291 connections, 1,660 accepted, 657 follow-ups were sent, and 158 people responded, and 24% of those people were booked into my calendar for a sales call. So in about 6 days, we booked about 40 sales calls in 6 days just from connection campaigns, not including email campaigns. In-mail campaigns are a different animal. In-mail campaigns, from our experience, in-mails have a much higher response rate than connections. And with that, you're going to get not only a lot more leads from Sales Navigator, but you're going to get more responses, more leads, more booked appointments, and then potentially even more clients as well. So you are going to be running both simultaneously. You're going to be running a connection campaign as well as an email campaign at the same time. And as a result, if you want to have, at least 40 sales calls a week, you may need to acquire 100 LinkedIn accounts to do that, because I get at least 40, and sometimes I get upwards of like 60, 70, 80. It depends on the week. So obviously those weeks are extremely busy. We make a lot of money, but that's not every week. But we have 100 LinkedIn accounts, which is why we get that. So this right here breaks down just what the results are of that current campaign, and you can actually select which one you want to look at specifically if you want to do that. And you can actually break it down as well by accounts. You can actually click on the account specifically, and you look at the results of just one account if you want to, which is really cool. And you can adjust the date as well. So you can go back and see the results based on date, which is pretty cool too. So that's the software. Obviously, you can see that this works very effectively, and this can work for anybody. If you're a B2B company and you're targeting other businesses, This will work for you. I promise you, this will 100% work for you. I'm a B2B company and I only work with B2B companies, and everyone that I've sold this service to is also a B2B company. This works exceptionally well for those businesses because cold outreach is very black and white. You're sending a message to people, and that message is going to translate into a conversation, and that conversation will eventually lead to a sales call. And the more of that you do, the better results you're going to get. It's very black and white. This is something that has been around for decades. There's a reason why back in the 1980s, people were doing cold calls, because it works. Cold calling works, and it still works today. Mind you, cold calling, in my opinion, is much, much, much more tedious and a lot slower than doing direct cold outreach. I prefer direct cold outreach any day of the week because it's a lot more automated and it still gets very good results. And as you can see here, these are the results that we're currently getting, and it's very, very effective. And this is how it works for everybody else. So if you are a B2B company and you are offering services to another business, these are some of the results that you could expect. So I hope that helps and very, very much so clarifies exactly what you would be getting and how it would work if potentially you wanted to do cold outreach for yourself. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to work with me to do cold outreach. You can more than definitely do this on your own. Like I said, if you implement the 3 techniques that I showed you at the beginning of this video, you are going to get amazing results. Guaranteed, guaranteed, you're going to get amazing results. If you just simply have a good message, you reach out to the right market, and you do enough volume, you will 100% get very good results. You don't have to work with me. You can do this on your own. But believe me, if you have these 3 things implemented, whether you work with me or not, you're going to get exceptionally good results. It does not matter what business you're in. If you are targeting other businesses, this will work for you. Cold outreach, paid advertising, and content creation, and getting leads through content are some of the 3 best ways that you can generate leads right now. Paid advertising is obviously more expensive. Doing content is very effective. However, it's going to take time. You're not going to post one video and then all of a sudden get 10,000 leads from that one video. It takes time to build your brand. It takes time to build up your content to a point where it can actually generate leads for you successfully. It's not going to happen overnight. Cold outreach is insanely effective because it's so cheap, so effective, and it's so fast. If you implement these 3 techniques, you can get results within 24 hours, 100%. You'll get leads, and you'll even get some sales calls potentially within 24 hours if you implement these 3 techniques and do them right now yourself. You can do cold outreach on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can do email marketing cold outreach. You can do SMS cold outreach. You can do cold calling. These are all effective forms of cold outreach. But from my experience, LinkedIn has been the best place to do cold outreach by far, which is why I'm such a big believer in it, which is why I pitch it, and which is why I offer it so much, because I know that it works. I can prove that it works, and I have actionable results to show people that it does work. So give cold outreach a try on LinkedIn. If you've done it before and you're bitter, please try implementing my 3 techniques, and you're going to notice a dramatic change in your results. And if you're someone that would rather just have this done for you and taken care of, then by all means reach out to me and we can take care of you, and we can onboard you onto the software, and we can get your campaigns launched and running within about 24 hours. It's that fast. So anyways, I hope this video helped out and it made it very clear to you why cold outreach is so effective and how you can do it on your own or with us if you choose to. And I will see you on the next video.